What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and some more Birthright coverage here as we continue looking on at these famous or infamous NPCs that we get in the core and weird box set here. And one of those, importantly, especially if you're adventuring or running domains up in the north, and then we've covered them briefly before when we looked at the domain of Thurazor, but is its ruler here, T-Scar Graecher, or Graecher, depending on how you want to pronounce him. But he himself is a 7th level goblin fighter. Stats probably about what you would expect for a goblin. Lawful evil, and pretty decent spread of hit points and everything else. All things considered, he does have an Azrai bloodline, although not all that strong, even though major here. But a couple of things that are probably useful for him as a ruler. So he's got poison sense and fear, and again we'll cover bloodline abilities in a separate series of videos. But also has a solid piece of equipment here, so a short sword +2 that he just calls Flesh Render. DM may want to add some other properties to it if they feel so inclined. But interesting here, so we get a sort of template that we can use as DMs for what a goblin ruler in this setting might look like, and some of the things we probably come to expect, but then also maybe some surprises here as well, given that bloodline abilities can also drastically sort of take us away from, again, what we might think is like a stereotypical goblin, and certainly a goblin king in this sense. So he is far more crafty than he lets on, and that's something that you should play up against PC rulers in any encounters there, but also for any PC adventure encounters or anything as well, potentially. So he is getting on in years, but none of his faculties have dimmed, and he always seems ready to face another challenger to his throne. So he cultivates this aspect of a senile old king, and then tries to basically just lure people who are a little bit more foolish or overzealous into actions that they then regret later and he can take advantage of. So, as might be expected, he rose up from the lowest ranks of goblin nobility, using trademark things like cunning and brutality that you might expect from goblins, and basically just murdered his way to the top, and has done everything in his power then since then to prevent that from happening to himself as well. So he basically got rid of all the old king's heirs, as it says here, and basically until people were too afraid to come and try and take the crown from him as well. So, though no one could prove that he murdered his way to the top, all certainly suspected it and accorded him the respect due to a true king. So, again, fun character here, but again, for those running domains in any encounters with him, especially if you're up in like Doson or Kiriel, you're certainly going to have to deal with him, also to Lineae. But, again, a crafty old goblin king that players, at least initially, maybe should think that they, is just a stereotypical goblin, but maybe, turns the tables on them and maybe like a trade or treaty, some sort of agreement, and then they just find themselves actually confronting a ruler who's pretty crafty, but again, could also apply in adventuring situations. And another fun bit, though, that players, if they're kind of wise to his antics, could play up to is any potential sort of paranoia that maybe is setting in just from any potential challengers to his rule. So that could be something that could develop over time and could see the PCs have sort of a value that he shouldn't underestimate then, and or if they were planning on eventually maybe taking him out, sort of look for and cultivate some potential challengers to his rule and play that up and just maybe turn all the goblins on themselves if they really want to take over that territory. So a fun character that could go in a number of ways, and having that at your disposal as a DM, sort of not just a random roving band of goblins or anything, but like an actual domain, as we've covered, but then also with its crafty ruler here. So could really be a fun character, or NPC rather, to play up for your PCs in the campaign. So hit us up in the comments, guys. Let us know if you've encountered him in any of your campaigns, or if you used him as a DM, and how that has gone, and how your players responded to and dealt with him. So like and subscribe as well. We got plenty more coming here as we round out these NPCs from the core set here for Birthright, and then we'll be moving on to some other exciting things as we cover more of the game. So hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll be moving on in the next one. Take care.